Hi there, it's Troy and welcome to another video. Today I want to discuss a story I recently read on Reddit where a guy described how his girlfriend dumped him because of coronavirus. But before I dive into that topic, first I want to let you know that if you're interested in meeting me and the other Rule Zero guys, that is Rollo Tomassi of The Rational Male, Rich Cooper of Entrepreneurs in Cars, Ryan Stone and John of Modern Life Dating, in Las Vegas on April the 18th, then tickets for Rule Zero Live have pretty much sold out. However, there are one or two overage spots available. So if that's something you'd be interested in, and it certainly should be, then hit the link below or miss out. Also, do subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting subscribe and turning on notifications below. That way you'll stay up to date with all of my latest content. And if you're interested in even more articles and videos from me covering cutting-edge self-development and dating strategies, then do consider joining my VIP members-only group by hitting the link which is also in the description below. For only $25 a month, you'll get 8 exclusive pieces of content, that's 2 per week, plus private access to me. That's only $3 per piece of content. Plus, you can ask me anything you want. With spring coming up, can you afford not to take up this fantastic offer? Okay then, let's get back to the topic in hand. First, I want to read you the post that I saw on Reddit where a guy describes the way his girlfriend dumped him due to the coronavirus. So here we go. I wish this would be a joke, but it isn't. So I've been together with my now ex for 3 months and our relationship was growing great. Sure, we had our ups and downs, but generally speaking, we were happy together. She even introduced me to her family and she met my parents. Then the coronavirus hit Europe and she started sending me these batshit crazy conspiracy theories. USA are behind the virus. Israel did it. Governments are hiding the truth. Of course, I thought that those videos are clickbait. I explained to her that neither the USA, Israel or any other government would have a single benefit out of releasing a global virus. She never replied to my answers and just jumped over them. She's got into multi-level marketing too, so I know she's easy to influence. Anyways, yesterday was a very normal day. She was working, I was working, we're not living together. We were texting, sharing memes and had a phone call before she went to bed. There was nothing strange or worrisome going on. But then a bomb went off this morning. She sent me a text message that basically said that the coronavirus showed me I have to work harder on my religion and pleasing God, and that we were living in sin. And for this reason, we have to break up because I have to keep myself and my family safe. Please don't make it any harder and don't try to contact me. What WTF? Of course, I tried to contact her, but she blocked me everywhere. I'm not mad or sad, but my brain just can't comprehend this. It's really bizarre and feels like a joke. She wasn't even this religious before, and it wasn't a topic in our conversations. If she would have broken up with me because I cheated, she found someone else, or she simply doesn't love me anymore, sucks, but at least I could understand it. But this is such a crazy reason to break up that my brain simply reached its limits. Of course, the thing is done, and it will take some time to get over this entire situation, but I'm sure I will find somebody new. Has this happened before to somebody else? This is a complete change of heart within a single day. I really want to understand this. Well, what a strange and unfortunate story. First of all, I would like to make it clear that I'm not making this video in any way to denigrate or mock the guy who wrote this post on Reddit. On the contrary, I feel great sympathy for this guy and his plight. It is never easy to break up with a partner, particularly when the reason they give you for the breakup is so insubstantial and seemingly illogical. That said, I wonder if there is anything we can learn from this guy's situation and whether it has applicability to our own dating lives. The first thing I would point out is that these guys were only dating for 3 months. That in itself is a red flag. At the 3-month mark, you're not in any sense in a serious relationship. At the very most, you are still feeling one another out. My modus operandi is not to formalise a relationship until much later than the 3-month mark. And ideally, you're talking 6 months up to even a year. So after just 3 months, if something of this kind has happened, that is to say, if she pulls some strange and bizarre stunt which leads to you breaking up, you should not be deeply saddened or hurt because in reality, the relationship has hardly begun anyway. Therefore, this guy's mindset was wrong from the off. He believed a relationship existed and was a robust entity when in fact it was still at its most nascent stage. The fact that he'd met her parents and she'd met his doesn't matter. They were still very much at the beginning. In any case, I believe it's very fortunate that our narrator got to see this side of his girl before things progressed any further, because the behaviour she showed was simply not rational. And if she was capable of a trick like this early on, then goodness knows what she might have done later had things continued. The second red flag she displayed was her fondness for conspiracy theories. The Reddit poster said that she tried to assign guilt for coronavirus to both the US and Israeli governments. While it is clear that certain aspects of current affairs remain unexplained and we might speculate on the hidden reasons, in the main, conspiracy theories are the preserve of weak-minded folk who like to imagine that the complexities of human life can be boiled down into bite-sized memes and overarching theories. It's so-and-so's fault that conditions are like this. If only so-and-so didn't act in their own interests, then things would be so much better for the rest of us. And so on. In each case, we see an attempt to mollify the complexities of life to make it understandable and in some ways more comfortable as a result. Better to believe in randomness. We live in complex times where different stimuli compete to create the reality that manifests itself around us. And that being the case, it is nigh impossible for the individual to ascribe robust meaning to the phenomena that we encounter on a daily basis. And it's pretty pointless to try. While it can be fun to engage with conspiracy theories once in a while, at some point you must ask yourself if it is really helping you to achieve your goals or not. And mostly you will conclude that it isn't. Conspiracy theories tend to be for losers who smoke too much weed and sit in their mother's basement fapping to bizarre anime porn. Don't fall into this trap yourself. Instead, concentrate on things that you can control. The next red flag is this girl's adherence to Christian doctrine. That is to say, her willingness to jettison her boyfriend for her belief in Christ. At least, that's the excuse that she gives him anyway. He describes her as saying, "The coronavirus shows me that I have to work harder on my religion and that we are living in sin and therefore we must break up." Taken at face value, this is completely ridiculous because even the most devout Christian would have to be pretty arrogant to assume that a worldwide epidemic has been created for the sole purpose of teaching them a lesson about the brief 3-month relationship they happen to be in. This is self-aggrandizement of the very worst kind. In fact, it's a betrayal of the Christian requirement for reduction of the ego, since it's incredibly egotistical to assume that everything that happens in the world is about you. Would God really create coronavirus just to break apart a young couple? I think not. But what if she actually believes what she's saying and chooses to place her religion above her nascent relationship with our hero? Then he's better off without her anyway. Why? Because such a seismic move so early wouldn't bode well for the future. She would only do a similar thing again further down the line. And the truth is that however alpha you are, or however impressive a man you are, you will never be able to compete with God. So why even try? Far better to find someone who is less wrapped up in the supernatural and more open to a relationship with you, a human being, instead. It's also possible that she doesn't believe this BS that she's spouting at all, and that the whole God created coronavirus and therefore we should split shtick is actually just an excuse for her to ditch her boyfriend. This is of course strengthened by the fact that the narrator says that she wasn't that religious before. If this is the case, well, that's unfortunate, but what can you do? For whatever reason, she's decided that she wants out of the relationship, and it's very unlikely that she could be talked round. As I've intimated, our hero would be ill-advised to do so anyway, because who wants to remain with someone who comes up with such a crazy excuse for kicking you to the curb? But if it is the case that this guy would like to resume intimacy with his girl, then the very best thing he could do would be to break all contact with her for a minimum of 3 months. That is to say, he should not respond to her message, he should block her on social media, he should not email her, or speak to her, or any of their mutual friends, or anything of that kind. A complete and very clean break must commence now. If, and it's only an if, she decides that she wants to engage with him again, then she must come to him. There's no point in him chasing her, as he's the one who's been dumped. It's a harsh truth, and it's very difficult to abide by this kind of advice. But once a woman's mind's made up in these kind of circumstances, it's very difficult to change it. Of course, the failure of this young couple's relationship is by no means the worst casualty of the coronavirus, but it is certainly a blow for the guy who wrote the Reddit post. Nevertheless, 3 months into a nascent relationship, and you've hardly got to know the other person at all. Unpredictable behaviour like this from the girl suggests that it wouldn't have worked out well over the long term anyway, so he is probably better off. Okay, that's it for today. Do remember to hit the link below to join the Rule Zero crew in Las Vegas on April the 18th, 2020. Do subscribe to this channel, and if you're interested in more exclusive content that will teach you precisely how you can gain more power in your dating, business and social life, join my VIP inner circle on the link below.